and welcome to the Michael Zehr Show. Yeah, I changed it from good morning to good day because people that are streaming or watching it later, I'm trying to say, maybe in the evening or in the afternoon, and I'd like to be able to talk to and address them just as if I was talking to somebody that could be live right now. So I think I'm going to try and remember to start off saying good day, even though it is a morning. So today's date is September 2nd, 2022, and we're coming to you live from the Rising Eagle Studios here at the Warrior Healing Center in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And today, my special guest veteran is Mr. Tommy O'Leary.
Correct.
Mr. O'Leary,
Mr. Zehr.
thank you so much for joining me,
Well,
sir.
thank you for having
Appreciate
me.
you coming down and coming on the live stream with us today.
Absolutely.
And it was really nice being able to talk to you and get to know you a little bit over the phone before our interviews when we set this up. And so I really appreciate you taking the time in and coming in and talking to us today. So the first thing I'd like to ask all my guests is, where is home? Like, where were you born? And
I was born in the Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's right. In 1948, my father was born in Wexford, Ireland in 1899.
Ireland. Wow.
And my mother was born in the Bronx, but her parents were born in Ireland. She was born in 1908. I attended parochial schools, St. Peter and Paul Grammar School,
Okay.
Cardinal Spellman High School, Manhattan College,
Wow.
and even my law school, Seattle University, is run by the Jesuits. So I've been kept in line by the clergy for most of my life.
Very nice. Is that Catholic?
Yes.
Is it okay? Because I'm Catholic, but I didn't know for sure, and I know that there are quite a few Irish Catholics also, and I've had a few on my live stream, and it's just I love talking to them because they're great. They have such interesting and great stories to tell, and I just really enjoy doing this. So you're in New York, and what prompted you to join the military?
The United States Selective Service Bureau.
Ah, you got drafted.
I got drafted in 1968. I attended Manhattan College till 1967. I dropped out. I went to work down Wall Street. I was
Okay.
a hotshot, if you might say. I'm 19 years old, and I was made supervisor. And we imbibed in a little alcohol that day. So when I went home that day, I went to my bureau where my father put my mail, and I saw a letter from the Selective Service. And I had a previous letter from them for a physical. And of course, you know, they pay you travel, which in New York is a subway token.
Right.
So there were 2 subway tokens in my medical, but in the one I saw that day, there was only 1 subway token, which was quite ominous.
Which means you're not getting a
they
return
said,
trip.
you're not leaving. You're not going home. You're not going home that day. So I went from being a hotshot supervisor to duck walking in about 2 weeks, and the humility has stayed with me, believe me.
Oh, very cool. So you were drafted into the Army, right?
Yes, and I went to Vietnam.
Well, before we get to there, where did you go for basic training?
Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson. Okay, and after Fort Jackson?
I went for AIT at Fort Jackson and at Fort Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Both of them.
So they were really getting you to soldier up, huh?
Yes, I was a radio operator, and then they also trained me as a radio teletype operator.
Okay, so your MOS was in
05 Bravo, 05 Charlie.
Okay, very cool. And after you're done with Fort Gordon, then did you go right to Vietnam from there?
Mm-hmm.
And you land on the first day in Vietnam, and what was your impression?
I thought they were setting me up. We were in khaki uniforms, and I was at Cam Bay, and they put us in formation.
Okay.
And I said, "What the heck is this?" I figured I'd have to run from the plane to, some safe, secure place, but we were put in formation and marched to a certain area for indoctrination and everything. So it was kind of funny.
So it didn't feel like you were landing in a combat area.
Not Cam Bay was not exactly a combat area at that time. Now,
all right.
Eventually, when the takeover came, yes, it did. But and then I was sent to my duty station at Chulai.
Okay.
Now that was different. That was different. There were explosions, let's say.
Right. And what was one of your like typical duty days? What would you do during that time?
Well, obviously, part of it was being a radio operator and going out into the field, but a lot of it was working out of a secure teletype location in the
Okay.
mountains where you basically communicated various types of communication. Some obviously, some of them classified, some of them immediate, some of them very, very necessary, and some of them not as necessary.
Well, we don't want to get you to talk about anything where you have to kill me later, please. So,
No, no,
okay. All right,
no,
good deal.
no. It was combat operations and communications between combat units, and also, as I said, in the field, it was the same way.
Did you make a lot? This is going to sound like a weird question, but did you make a lot of buddies? I mean, battle buddies, and what you were there
Well,
for?
yes, of course you do. I
For
mean,
how long?
4 months.
For 4 months?
Yes.
Okay.
You do make. I mean, the people in your unit. And remember, you're talking about the draft era,
Right.
and to a certain extent, there's a feeling that it's an us against them sometimes, but it's also all of us. It's a mission, and yet you still have kind of like, I'm gonna show them that I'm an individual and things like that. And your buddies were your buddies. You slept
Right.
with them, you ate with them, you goofed around with them, you fought with them, all of those types of things. And yes, you grew to, well, I don't want to make it. You grew to love them in a way, because they were part of your life,
Right.
and you were dependent upon them, and they were dependent upon you. But a lot of I remember a lot of this stuff was also very ordinary stuff, maintenance and things of that nature, and those types of things. So it wasn't every day that we were fighting a battle. Let's put
Right.
it that way.
Now, looking back while you were in Vietnam, what day kind of stood out the most to you that was like the most memorable day?
The day that I was injured.
Injured?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, it was Tet in 1969.
Oh, you were there.
Not Tet in 68. No, Tet in 68 was the Tet invasion that they speak about,
Right.
where they attacked the embassy in Saigon and everything. Tet in 69 was not that, but there was action, and we were under fire, and my area was hit. At the particular time, I was priming a generator, trying to get it to get going, and I had a can of gasoline in my hand, and I got hit, and I got set on fire.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not my pretty face, but
there you go.
And that was my hand, and I don't know what happened to the can of gasoline, but thank God I threw it the right way. And eventually the mortar attack stopped, and I was there. My shirt was gone.
Oh wow!
My shirt, it was like this, open chested. Let's put it that way. And I walked up to a sergeant. He was yelling, and running around yelling, and da da da. I said, Sergeant, I think I need to go to the hospital. And he goes, Hold on. I said, No, I really think I need to go to the hospital. And he goes, What? Oh my God, you got to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. And then I was medevac from Vietnam to Japan.
Okay.
And then eventually back to the United States at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Fort Dix?
Yeah, so they were serious enough injuries to do all that.
How was your rehabbing from that? It
was very interesting. Obviously, medicine has changed over the years. We see that with the rate of survival of our troops today.
Yes.
Many of our troops today, if they were injured that way in Vietnam, they would not have survived. That's just the way it is. But today, the wonders of medicine and everything. So, but back then, they treated burns. You had to have the skin basically taken off. Okay.
Right.
And you would be in a bath, not a bathtub, but a bath area, like big.
Right.
And then they do that, and then they put cream on there that hurt, and things like that. So it did hurt. It did, and you did that. Then pretty much it subsided into the ways of the treatment until finally, they were going to eventually put you back to duty. But I will tell you, I don't know. I think it's an amusing story, but when I got to Japan, I had put a bandage on my hand. So I get to Japan, and the doctor goes, "Who'd up put this bandage on your hand?" And I said,
Right.
Well, I don't know. Not my fault. He goes, "They're not supposed to be bandaged. It's supposed to be open." Okay, what do you want from me?
Wow. Yeah.
What do you want? And he goes, "You want to use that hand again?" He says, "You got to get that swelling down." So I had the hand was really big. And so I said, okay. And that night I just, kept pulling my hand until I finally in the morning was able to close my fist and my hand. So I put it under my sheet, and the doctor came in, and he said, "Let me see your hand." He was, "Oh, very good." I said, "Doctor, will I be able to play the guitar?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, no problem." I said, "Good. I've always wanted to be able to play the guitar."
Because you weren't
So he laughs at it. It was a good thing between us.
Oh, that was a good
So, like I say, it was a little bit different than the later army I went into, but it was still a lot of camaraderie.
Right.
And it's still a lot of feelings of we're in this together, and things of that nature, which is what the military kind of is about.
So when you're rehabbing from your injuries, you're still on active duty, and then it took about how long?
Took quite a while. After I got back to Walton Army Hospital at Fort Dix, they sent me on convalescent leave.
Okay.
Which was nice, because I lived in New York and I could go
close to home.
Yeah, and things like that. And then they'd bring me back, put me back in the hospital for a while, then say, okay, go back. You're doing good. And things had to, I don't know everything that had to be done, but
right,
it had to get back. And then finally I was assigned at Fort Dix, and I finished my first 2 years of my military career there.
Okay. And then where'd you go from there?
Well, I went, I got out.
Okay.
I ETS'd.
All right.
And I swore I was not going to put that uniform on again.
And what year was that?
That was 1970.
1970, okay.
Yeah, I went back to school. I graduated from college. I went to law school.
Oh, you got a law degree, huh?
Yes, and then...
Did you take the bar exam?
Of course.
Awesome. Did you pass?
Of course.
Or do I even have to ask, right?
No, you don't have to ask. Actually, there was no thing in my mind that I could not pass the bar exam. But
there you go.
If I might tell an amusing story, if you don't mind.
I would love to hear it.
Now, my father, as I told you, was born in Ireland, and he was not. He was a man that could laugh at a good joke, but he wasn't a joker. He wasn't.
Right.
Well, in 1972, I went up to his house, his apartment, and I said, "Pop, I decided what I want to be." He said, "Oh, what is that, Tommy?" I said, "Pop, I'm going to be a lawyer." And he got this look on his face of absolute, almost horror. And I'm going, "What the heck is wrong?" He goes, "Oh, Tommy, you can't do that." So I'm thinking, what? We have IRA back, we have IRA connections, so what?
Right.
I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Oh, Tommy, don't you know there's never been an Irishman could pass a bar?"
Well, there is now.
I said, "Pop, when did you become Johnny Carson?"
Yeah.
I mean, So, but then I went, and then by that time I was in Washington State, and I was a deputy prosecuting attorney in Washington State for a year, and then I got a commission and went back into the Army.
How did that work? The commission, how did they
you
offered it, or you applied for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You apply. Mm-hmm.
And did you have to go to OCS?
No. Nope. I had to go to the. It's a direct commission.
Direct commission.
It's a direct commission, and then of course you go to your training as a judge advocate.
Okay. So when you went back in, then you went in back, or when you went back into the military, you went back into legal services?
Yes, I was a judge advocate.
Judge advocate.
Part of the judge advocate corps.
Wow. And tell us about that.
Well, my first assignment was at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And of course, we took a lot of ribbing from everybody. He said, who did you get mad to get? And I said, actually, we chose this, my wife and I. We liked Louisiana. We wanted to be here. So, and I was a prosecutor there for about a year and a half.
Right.
We only had 2 prosecutors, but we had a lot of cases, so I was rather busy. And then in 1979, they inaugurated the Trial Defense Service, which was to take the defense counsel out of the being rated by the judge advocate, the staff judge advocate, so that they could be independent, just to ensure fairness. And I was selected for that. I thought that was pretty good, the initial selectee. And I became a defense counsel. I handled major felonies. I handled a capital case.
This is just for military, right?
Yes, it's a big case from Louisiana. It was 2 soldiers killed 2 other people, 2 civilians.
Oh my!
And it was a death penalty case. My client was found guilty, but he didn't get the death penalty. So, and he was the actual shooter. So I thought that was pretty good. But then after Fort Polk, I went. I was going to be the officer in charge of Robinson Barracks in Stuttgart, but we had a last-minute communication from Washington that they wanted me to be the legal advisor to the Inspector General of in Europe at Campbell Barracks in headquarters.
Wow. What was your rank at that time?
Captain.
Captain? Okay.
And that was very interesting because I was involved in very high-level investigations and classified investigations of senior officers and intelligence community and things of that nature. So it was quite fascinating.
I don't know why, but in my stupid little world or in my mind, I just can't picture military service members committing these kind of crimes where they have to be persecuted for it and stuff like that.
Not persecuted.
Or prosecuted, yeah. Sorry.
We don't persecute them.
Prosecute.
Well, we all have our faith in human nature. And I think we probably have a greater faith in military service members.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, military service members are human beings, whether they're privates first class or generals.
But don't you think
they commit crimes?
But don't you think we still hold our military to a higher standard?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And that's how the decision as to what to do with them once you conduct the investigation. That's the decision that's made, and they're held to a higher standard. Now you have to understand this is not you're talking about a military community, and 98% of the people, certainly the officer corps, are behaving themselves properly.
Right.
And there's a certain 2% that might not be. That happens. I mean, as I said, people are human, and
it's just one thing to. But when you're like sitting here telling me about it,
it is disappointing.
Yeah,
it is disappointing to see that military members are not perfect.
Especially because, well, like you said, we're all human, so nobody is. But especially when somebody has gone into the military and is thinking, "Oh, I want to make this a career," and then all of a sudden, all it takes is that one stupid choice or that one.
Well, remember, again. Depending on your grade, you get to make different choices in life. A colonel is probably going to be making different choices as to his misconduct than a private first class.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, some of it could revolve around money.
Right.
Money does cause people to act improperly. Could revolve around, at that time, women more than men, but now it could be women and men. Of senior officers acting improperly,
right,
and things of that nature. So it happens, but it's not. It wasn't widespread, and I don't want it to sound in any way that it was. But that was part of my job, was to investigate.
Well, I just read an article too that in the military, sexual
harassment.
Yeah, it's like sexual harassment and sexual misconduct towards soldiers is up like 12 or 16%, I think is what I was reading here recently.
I didn't read the article. I don't know. It might be. It does seem to be parallel and mirror private
The private
behavior.
sector, yeah.
Certainly the sexual aspect of it. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the article is correct.
Right.
I don't think it's totally incorrect. I think it exists. It's something that needs to be eradicated, and it exists. It existed in the civil service also, which I was part of
Right.
for a great deal of my life. It's part of life that we have foibles and actually we do some mean things also. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. So you accepted that position in Europe. How long were you there for?
I was there for 3 years.
And where was it at?
I was in Heidelberg.
Heidelberg?
After
Okay.
a year in Heidelberg, I was assigned as the senior defense counsel for the Gießen military community. I had 2 officers and 6 attorneys working for me.
Wow.
Again, we handled major cases in that community. It actually is the largest court-martial jurisdiction in the world at the time. I have no idea if that's still correct, but at the time it was the largest court-martial jurisdiction.
Statistically speaking, I'm just curious if you know, what was like the most offenses, like drinking or like DUI? Was that like the highest, or?
Well,
you know,
tell you the truth, we didn't really prosecute that many DUIs at the time.
No.
DUIs were generally handled administratively at that time.
Okay.
With non-judicial punishment. Remember, we're talking about the early 80s. There was a different attitude about DUI in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, at that time, it might have been considered a gentleman's offense and not be taken as seriously as it should have been. But we tried theft, assault, robbery, sexual offenses.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, we obviously military offenses, failure to obey lawful orders, disrespect,
Failure to repair.
Well, yes, failure to repair would have generally been handled again by an Article 15.
Yep.
I mean, but yes, if the individual demanded court-martial, he would get court-martial for failure to repair. But that generally would be on the law.
The only reason
basically,
I know
you handle the major stuff, the major crimes of theft and misconduct in those types of areas.
The only reason I know failure to repair is because I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was young and stupid, and I was here at Fort Huachuca, as a matter of fact, and I missed police call.
Uh-huh.
So they said, "Oh well, failure to repair." So they sent you over to the staff judge advocate, and then they sit down with you and go over the offense with you, and there's like, "Oh yeah, there's no fighting this. They've got you, so you might as well just go ahead and sign it." And I went back and
see, that's the type of legal advice I did not give.
Yeah.
I gave you the legal advice that's correct.
Where were you when I needed you?
Is probably a substantial no. There's probably a substantial chance that you will be convicted, but you have a right to demand court-martial, and if you do, you will get one. Do not be under any illusion that you will not.
I think I would rather have an Article 15 or a court-martial.
Absolutely.
Anytime, yeah.
But
I think that was another reason why I elected to go that route, because I didn't want to take the chance.
No, because a court-martial puts an offense on your record.
Yep.
I mean, it is a criminal proceeding.
Yep.
But anyway, then after Europe, we came to Fort Knox, Kentucky, where I was the assistant chief of the administrative law division, then the chief of the administrative law division, then the chief of legal assistance at Fort Knox.
And what was your rank at that time?
Again, was still captain.
At captain?
Yeah, I left as a captain.
You retired as a captain?
I retired. Yeah.
So after Fort Knox, then you went where after that?
I went to here to Arizona to be with the Immigration and Naturalization Service, the Border Patrol.
So you retired from the military at Fort Knox?
No, I left active duty there, retired eventually to the reserves.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So when all this is going on, you're still in Tennessee though at that time, or
not Tennessee?
Where were you?
In Kentucky.
You went back to Kentucky.
But that's close.
I did. Geez, Louise, Fort Knox. I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah. Well,
but
when I got out in December 31st, 1986.
Okay.
And then I went to work for the United States Immigration and Naturalization Service, the Border Patrol, in January of '87.
How did you get that position? Did you just?
I applied for it.
Well, I know that, but I mean, did you see
Well,
it? Were they advertising?
Well,
or...
again, my wife and I, when we were deciding where we were going to live, we wanted to stay in Kentucky, but there weren't really any. I turned down 2 jobs that were okay. They were pretty good, but I wanted more money, and they didn't want to give it to me, so
Right.
we parted ways. But my wife did not want to come to the Southwest. My wife's from Germany, or she was born in Germany.
Okay.
And she liked forests. She likes trees, and she likes those types of things. So she gave me very explicit instructions in applying for jobs. Do not apply for any jobs in Arizona or New Mexico. I don't want to go to the desert. I said, okay. And I adhered to my promise. But I sent an application with my resume to the district council in San Francisco. And he immediately sent that application down to the district council in Phoenix and said, this guy is perfect for your new job with the Border Patrol. So then I got a call from the district council in Phoenix. I'm going, I didn't send you a resume. He goes, no, I got it. He said, but we want you for this job. So I talked to him about it, and the money sounded good. And I said, well, I have to talk to the wife about this.
Yeah.
And I went home and, honey, I got an offer of a job in Arizona. You weren't supposed to apply for jobs. I said, I did. I swear to God, I did. But we eventually took it, and she came to love the day.
And you were where when you started?
I started in Phoenix for 8 months as I was training in Phoenix, and then I went to Tucson at the Tucson Sector Council.
And what did you do at the Border Patrol?
Badge.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to share that with everybody here.
I don't know if they can see that, but that's
hold it up the camera just a little bit closer there if you can. There you go.
They retired my badge when I left them. Again, I was the legal counsel to the Border Patrol, so I handled basically all legal matters, whether they were employment related, discipline related, risk management, simply legal things about deportation and things of that nature. I mean, it quite a conglomeration of things that I had to handle.
I tell you,
it was fun.
I really envy our Border Patrol and customs agents. They do such a great job protecting us down on the border, but they're always under such scrutiny.
Yes.
It's just.
Yes, it is, and I still feel for the Border Patrol agents today. It's still, again, a good feeling. I don't like what's going on, but I don't think that's something to get into.
Right. It's just, I mean, they are protecting us,
Absolutely.
and I mean, the technology is always changing and everything, and it's just, I always like to give a big thank you out to our law enforcement, because I think they do such a great job, not only the Border Patrol and Customs, but also like our county sheriffs.
Border Patrol was very involved with the Uvalde, and in fact, they were the ones that took down the shooter.
The shooter down, yeah.
That's a BORTAC team, and again, they do fantastic things.
The best thing I've noticed from as a civilian is looking at what's going on today. I do notice that the Border Patrol and the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sierra Vista Police Department, all work hand in hand.
Of course.
For the load car driver situation that we got, because those load car drivers, that was a big situation here. They also work
hand in hand with the Pima County, Cochise County prosecutors' offices.
Okay.
And with the with the U.S. Attorney's offices, obviously. Law enforcement involves both the apprehension of individuals and the prosecution of individuals. The apprehension of individuals, as we see today in some cases, without the prosecution of individuals, almost becomes useless.
Right.
You take somebody off the street for 10 hours and then they're back on the street. You have to wonder about those types of things again. But law enforcement is all of the agencies working together,
Yeah.
and certainly the actual law enforcement agencies working together in joint operations is a very valuable thing.
And to all of our law
and
enforcement out there, we have this little button up here,
All right.
applause, and you used to be able to hit that, and you could hear the noise. But so we'll just have to clap this way. There we go.
Anyway, then in 1996, I was selected, and then in 1997, I ascended the bench as a United States immigration judge.
Oh wow!
And I was an immigration judge for 24 years.
And where? Where was that at? In Tucson?
Well, no, it started out in El Centro, California.
El Centro.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't move the family. I'm not a California person, but I did work out there for 3 years till 2000. Then I was able to come back to Arizona up at Eloy. There's a detention facility in Eloy. And I was there for 8 years. And in 2008, I eventually came down to Tucson and the Tucson court.
How did you find our lovely community down here?
Well, I'd lived in Tucson for 31 years.
Right.
So
you knew of Sierra Vista and you just thought...
Oh, Sierra Vista.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did I come to Sierra Vista?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that again. Remember, we're talking about 24 years of service as an immigration, and that is my 40-year government service pin.
Right here.
It has 4 diamonds.
Well, of course, I'm shaking, so
yeah,
got these stupid tremors.
It has. I understand. It has 4 diamonds.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they're worth anything, but it is worth something.
It's worth something to you.
Yes.
And your family.
Now, with the Sierra Vista thing, I was going to retire from federal service in December of 2021. But in 2019, my son, who was the manager of a auto repair collision shop in Tucson, the owner sold the shop, and we thought, oh boy, here it comes. It's a national firm. They're going to come in and basically clean house. But they were smart enough to realize that my son was a very valuable asset, and they not only kept him on, but they offered him owner-operator interest here at an auto shop in Tucson, in Sierra Vista. And he came out here. We bought a house together in 2019, and then I said, well, I'm not going to have a whole year away from the girls, so I retired in 2020.
So Sarah wants to know if we can describe your pen. And what I was going to tell her was that it says Department of Justice on it with the 4 diamonds that you said, and then it says, I believe that's 8. Is that AD on there at the bottom?
No, it's a 40.
40.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, for 40 years.
Yeah.
But yes,
it's just the logo of the Department of Justice.
Okay. All right. So as you were saying, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Picture here. I can show the picture. Yeah. The same logo is behind me. You want to show that to the camera? I'll show it.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Just 2 of them.
My problem is the stupid tremors I have.
Believe me,
people are going to be like, "What are you guys doing?"
I understand that. Don't.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, that. And anyway, and I'll show you a picture of my family here.
Oh yes.
There's a picture. Obviously, the beautiful lady on this side is my granddaughter. Then my grandson. Then my granddaughter, my middle granddaughter, my son and his wife, me and the littlest granddaughter. Now, my wife died in 2018.
Wow, very good looking family.
But that's the reason they're good looking.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry for your loss.
Thank you. That's the reason they're good looking, is because of her. And then here's me in the days of long hair and everything. I was in law school at the time, and we were married.
Sarah said that she's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
What other photos do you have here?
I have again another picture of my wife and I, we were in the Army at the time. This was in Louisiana. And then this is in Louisiana also. Okay, I don't know if
Yeah, that's good right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then now this was the day I was commissioned. My son was just a little boy then. But these are two pictures of my best friend and I. I actually was in AIT. He was in basic training. But we call this the two bald-headed privates. You know. And then that's the two of us standing up against the wall. We were not under arrest. We were just standing against the wall. Again, this is a picture from Germany, my wife and I. Picture of me at Fort Knox with the M1 Abrams, which I actually got to drive.
You got to drive it?
I got to drive it.
Wow.
Believe me, there was a sergeant who was the commander of the tank, and he said, "Sir, I want you to understand something. This is my tank, and you will obey my orders." And I said, "Yes, Sergeant, I will, exactly, because you know what you're doing." And it was very cool because it's just fascinating what a weapon it is. Because he's saying, I said, "Well," he goes, "just drive it, and you put it in gear and you drive it." And he's taking me down this area where it's getting thinner and thinner, and I'm going, how am I going to get out of here? I can't back this thing out of here, you know?
Right.
And I'm getting a little scared. And he stopped, and I felt like I was over the Grand Canyon or something, you know? And he goes, "You want to turn around?" I said, "Yeah." And he told me exactly. He says, "Disengage track, do this." And the on thing almost spun around.
Wow.
It was fantastic. He goes, "Re-engage your track and go back." And he was a very professional soldier, and I always appreciated it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
And
not everybody can say they got to drive a tank.
I got to drive. Yes, I actually got to drive it, and of course I didn't do it every day, but it was something I'll always remember.
And what are the other photos here?
That's just my, my official military photo that they have you take every year.
Is that the one for like a promotion packet? Yeah. Okay.
Then this is me with Ed Meese, who was the Attorney General at the time. This was in 1988, I think. And this is me with Janet Reno, who was the Attorney General.
Attorney General in Arizona.
She's the one that selected me to be a judge.
Wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the Attorney General for the United States.
Or for the United States. What did I say Arizona
the Bill Clinton
for?
administration. Yes. She was obviously all Attorney Generals can be controversial, but I liked her. She was a people person. The first day she met me at 7 o'clock in the morning when I briefed her on an issue. The next time she saw me that day was about 4:30, and she had seen probably 500 people at various Chamber of Commerce luncheons and things of that nature. And she got back and said, "Mr. O'Leary, I want you to keep me informed about that project you're working on."
Wow. She
remembered my name.
Very cool.
She was quite a Attorney General in that respect. Whatever you think about politics, you can think about politics, but she was a person who cared about the people who worked for her, and I always respect her for that.
So Sarah wants to know, where was your favorite place to live?
Where was my favorite place to live? Well, that's a very interesting question, because one of my favorite places to live was in the Bronx, New York, where I grew up. Okay. I mean, I had Yankee Stadium right there. I had Madison Square Garden right there.
Bronx Bombers.
I had all sorts of things, and but the places we lived when I was married, we lived in Washington State, and then Louisiana, and then Germany, and then Fort Knox,
a lot of different,
and then
culture.
Arizona, and it's hard to say which of those is the favorite, because my wife and I were at different parts of our lives, raising our son, who was growing up. He was a little boy in Washington. He was a little bit bigger in Germany. He was kind of a teenager in becoming a teenager in Fort Knox, then a teenager graduating from high school and becoming a man here in Arizona, and giving us grandchildren and things of that nature. So It's hard to say which one is the best because it's part of the family experience. So the family experience transcends the area in which you live.
So what I'm hearing is that your favorite place to live is wherever you were at with your family.
Yes, that's essentially, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
So that's very nice. Oh, get me to cry here in a second now. Oh my goodness. Did the kids enjoy the castles while they were in Germany?
Yes, we went to many castles. Went to Frankenstein's castle. There is a
There really is?
Frankenstein castle.
Okay.
Yes. But we went to many castles, and in fact, we went to Frankenstein Castle for Halloween, which was pretty cool. You know, they had a little show and everything. You know, and yes, we enjoyed the castles. We really enjoyed Germany because my wife was from Germany.
From Germany,
and obviously, she knew the area, and she knew German. And living in Germany, you have the best of both worlds because you have the German culture,
right?
But you don't have to drink their milk, which is warm. You can drink nice cold milk bought at the commissary, you know. So we had the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
it was a wonderful experience, and like I say, it was part of the family experience, and it was just wonderful. Were there problems? Yes, my wife became sick. She became very disabled, and in fact, she couldn't walk from about 2005 or 2006. She didn't really leave the house until she passed away. But still, in all of those things, you know, they're part of the family experience.
Well, and she leaves behind a legacy, as will you.
She leaves behind a legacy of 3 beautiful granddaughters.
Yeah.
A step grandson, and my son, who is, as I said, he's the manager of Fix Auto Collision here in Sierra Vista, and he's a hardworking man, and he's a family man, and I couldn't be prouder of him. People sometimes say, "Boy, you raised a great son," and I go, you know, anybody could have raised that boy, and he would still have turned out to be a great man. You know, so don't give me undue credit.
Well,
I got some. I put a roof over people's head. I put some food on the table, but
I think our kids are our greatest accomplishment in life.
I hope so, because if they are, then I'm a pretty good guy.
Yep, I would say you are, indeed. So I'd asked you earlier, and I might have cut you off when you were trying to answer because I sometimes I get so excited. Obviously, I'm not a professional at doing this.
It's okay, Michael, if you just cut me off.
So you were telling me how you got to Sierra Vista.
Yes, as I said, when Richie's when the firm job in Tucson, when the office was sold, we were worried that he'd be out of a job. But no, they loved him, and they said they picked him to. They opened the shop here, and they picked him to come here. And as I said, he accepted that. He and I and my daughter-in-law, we bought a house here in 2019. Eventually, they didn't move into the house right away. They moved into the house in 2020, and then I retired December of 2020.
And what's the name of the shop that your son?
Fix Auto Collision.
Fix Auto Collision?
Yes.
Where's it at?
It's right around the corner there on La Linda.
Okay, all right.
Right. I don't know the number. But
thought we'd give them a little shout out real quick. So.
And they are the best in Cochise County. And that's not just my opinion. That is.
You told me veteran-owned business?
It is a veteran-owned business because the actual owner, Richie has an ownership interest, but the actual owner is a veteran. Oh. It's a good business. And they're very good. But like I say, then I was still living in Tucson. I sold my house in July of 2021 and moved down. I have my own separate residence on the property. Right. You know, we got a fairly decent tract of land there, and we did a lot of work with the house and things of that nature. And
so, although you're not new to you're not new to Arizona.
Not new to Arizona. I'm really new to Sierra Vista. We used to come down to Sierra Vista. And I even did some reserve work down here in
Oh,
Sierra
okay.
Vista. So we always liked Sierra Vista, and yeah, it was a little drive from Tucson, so we didn't come down
Right.
here every day. But we would come down here. We'd go eat here, things like that. Take a drive around. So we were familiar with Sierra Vista. But I have to say, I'm very happy to be in Sierra Vista now. It's a wonderful town. It really is. I always kid around and say it's really. Some people say, "Oh, is that a border town?" I said, "No, it's a military town."
Right.
I said, "You have restaurants here that have parking spaces that are reserved
Purple
for
Heart.
Purple Heart
Yes.
recipients.
Yes.
Now you have to have the plate, but
They have Purple Heart parking here at the Warrior Healing Center.
yes, you
too.
do." And I said, and also I kind of like the murals here because even though the murals in Tucson and everywhere else are pretty good and done by very talented people, the murals here are of flags and the things that I really like. So, but
Very
anyway,
patriotic.
the last thing I will show you.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a Purple
Yeah.
Heart.
Yeah.
No, hold it up so we could see that.
There it is.
Wow.
Well, I just kid around, because Purple Heart's a very special
Oh, yeah.
medal, and
Very special.
the guys that truly deserve it are the guys on the wall, and the guys from that have been did not come back from
Right.
the Gulf War, but the Iraq War and certainly Afghanistan.
I did
Those are the men and women that really deserve that.
I did an interview.
What I got is not even close.
Well, I was going to tell you, I did an interview with J.J. O'Connor and his wife Mary, and they run Purple Heart Cruises, which I believe they're happening to rename it because the all Purple Heart naming and all that.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask them again what the new name is, but what they do for Purple Heart veterans is free cruises. Have you ever done that?
No.
You got to check into it.
Well, without the wife, I'm not quite sure I want to go on any cruises.
No?
And I also, my life is very calm now. I drive my granddaughters to school. I help them with their homework. I play with them.
Very family oriented.
It's an easy life.
I love it.
But a kind of a fun one.
Do you have any community activities around here that you're involved with at the moment?
Becoming involved in the Warrior Healing Center. I actually have an appointment with Mr. Beecher.
Bill Beecher, right?
Yeah.
Vietnam Veterans Association.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about me doing something in terms of counseling or something like that.
Bill's good people. I interviewed him on here too.
He seemed very nice on the phone.
Very
I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Oh, so you haven't met him yet? Oh, okay.
Not that I know of.
Well, you're in for a treat. Bill's
I believe that.
people.
I believe that.
As is all of our Vietnam veterans, but I'm just saying I know him.
Again,
I don't want to give Bill too big of a head though either. So.
Yeah, he might not be able to get in the room.
Yeah, yeah. Better watch that.
But no, it's so I'm hoping I'll be able to do something here.
Oh, great.
But other than that, no, I'm not. There's no other community activities with which I'm involved.
In closing, what would you give advice to anybody that might be watching this right now that's just recently gotten out of the military? Is there any kind of wisdom or anything you'd kind of like to share with them?
I don't know how much wisdom there is. Depending on how long you've been in the military, depending on your skills, depending on your MOS, depending on the things you want to do in life, you really, before you leave active duty, you should try to determine those things. Going home is not always the best thing for you totally.
Okay.
You want to go home and see your family, but there might be another area that you've liked that you want to go to. My wife and I chose the places that we went to, and we were very happy with them. And the other thing is getting a job. There are jobs in the government that you might want to get, again, depending on your skills and depending on what you do. But service in the federal government is of value, especially if you get involved in law enforcement or something like that. It is it's a wonderful way to retire.
Which a lot of our military veterans do. They do
Well,
get involved
I would think they would. And again, uh, right now, law enforcement's under attack in this country.
Right.
There's no question about that. That's not a. I'm not revealing anything or any.
No hidden secret there.
Yes, but still, in all, there's a great deal of satisfaction that one gets from being involved in law enforcement. Now, I was involved in law enforcement as a prosecuting attorney in the Army. I was involved in it as a defense counsel because that's part of I was involved in it with the Border Patrol, and of course, I was involved in the administration of justice as a federal immigration judge. And all of those things bring you satisfaction in your life. So you want to obviously try to choose a job that pays you enough to support your family.
Right.
That's really a primary consideration. But something that you might be happy with and that you know you might be able to go somewhere with. So law enforcement is always a good thing. I do talk to some young people and tell them try to go in the military and try to go in law enforcement. It's a little tough now. It's not as an easy sell as it used to be.
Right.
Because law enforcement is, as I said, being held in some different regards than it used to be.
Well, Sarah said that I'm going to put up on the screen here real quick. She said, "Thank you for coming in
Well,
to help at the Warrior Healing Center, and
my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story and your pictures and
Yeah.
your Purple Heart and what did you have in the?
Oh, that's just that's it. This is what the Army Commendation Medal, and then the Meritorious Service Medal.
Okay.
Things of that nature. As I said, you told me to bring something as it was show and tell, and it is.
Yeah, very
and then,
cool.
Of course,
and then your ribbons.
And then my ribbons, yes.
You can hold those up here so they can.
Now, actually, when you're in the reserve, you get ribbons for all sorts of things. There's probably 2 or 3 more that I could wear, but I don't even know what they are.
That is the Purple Heart ribbon,
That's the
right?
Purple Heart right there.
Yeah. And what's the one next to it?
Meritorious Service Medal.
Meritorious Service?
Yeah. Purple Heart, again, Purple Heart used to be relegated to just above, basically, the Good Conduct Medal. And people got a little miffed at that. And then they decided that the Purple Heart would be the highest medal that you would have other than a battle medal, a Silver Star or Bronze Star for Valor, or things of that nature, which I think was the smartest decision. Because the Purple Heart used to be just kind of relegated to the bottom of your ribbon.
What is the highest medal a service member can get?
Well, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Congressional Medal of Honor?
And then, of course, I think the Distinguished Service Cross in the Army. Well, I guess that would be the equivalent of the Navy Cross.
Right.
And then the Silver Star, Bronze Star for Valor. You can get a Bronze Star for service also.
Oh.
But if you see somebody with a Bronze Star, or certainly if you see somebody with a Silver Star, you're looking at somebody very special.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
something very special.
And for those of you that are watching, I don't know what your schedule is, so I don't mean to throw you under the bus here or anything, but maybe one of these days you could come to the Bagel and Brew that we have every third Thursday of the month and meet some of our viewers. Maybe you could tell you some of their stories.
But I'd be more than happy to come again.
We'd love to have that.
Well,
because then maybe they'd actually get to sit down face to face. It's one thing when you're doing a live stream, but when you actually get to look into the eyes of the veteran, and you can just, I don't know, I feel it resonating from you, that you have all of this honor and pride and from service and all of that, and
look,
it's just.
I've been a very lucky man.
Yeah.
All right. Even in my family, I've been very lucky. I had 3 older brothers and an older sister. I was the baby of the family. My mother was 40 years old when I was born in 1948. That was not exactly the norm. Okay, I was a surprise baby. So I had the best of both worlds. I had a family, I had siblings, and I was an only child at the same time. I went to good schools, hung out with good people. I married a wonderful woman, had a good family, and every job that I had, even those jobs where I had to mop floors, I liked in my life. So, except no, I did roofing for a week. That
one you didn't like.
That I was not so happy with. That was a little rough for me. It took a better man than I to do that. But other than that, as I said, I've been a very lucky man.
All right. Well, Tommy, thank you so much for
Michael,
coming in again and sharing your story.
Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate everything. I'll hang out here for just a couple more minutes. I'm going to read some events here, and then we'll close up shop. But again, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for your service. And just sitting next to you is an honor and a privilege.
Well, let me just temper that a little bit. A lot of people say thank you for your service. And most veterans will say, "Oh well, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. You're welcome." Things like that.
Right.
But I think most of us feel like, well, that's kind of the best part of my life.
Right.
So I'm the one that needs to be thankful. You know, the military can be wonderful. It can be tough on some people, but it can be wonderful. With the combat conditions they've had over the last 20 years, it's been rough on some people.
Yeah.
4, 8, 10 tours in combat zones, but I think most people love being in the military who are in it.
Yep.
But anyway, I thank you for your kind comments.
Okay, so events that we have happening here this week at the Warrior Healing Center. Today, like I said, is September 2nd. It's also the first Friday of the month. What does that mean? That means Fun Food Fridays. And no, I can't sing, so I'm not going to do Ice Ice Baby, but the theme today is Rice Rice Baby. So that is what's going on, and that starts at 11 o'clock today and goes until 1400 hours. Also, let's see, on Saturday, which would be tomorrow, we have the Amvets group ride, which will be meeting at the Pueblo del Sol Country Club parking lot. They start at 0700 hours, and Stu and his group of Amvets, they get together and ride bikes to stay healthy, to stay active. It's a very good organization, as are all of these. Monday, September 5th, well, we all know what that is, and if we don't, it's Happy Labor Day. But the center will be open, it looks like, because on Monday at 1730 to 1830 is going to be the 5 treasures of Qigong at the Warrior Healing Center. And it even says right here, it's happening even though it's Labor Day. So there we go on that one. On Tuesday, September 6th, starting at 1800 and go to 1900 hours, is the Hero Paws Service Animal Support Group. And that's at the Warrior Healing Center. I think that's at the main conference room, but you'll find out when you come in for that. On Tuesday, September 6th, from 1830 to 1930, is the Amvets Post 89 meeting. And that takes place here at the Warrior Healing Center. So if you're a veteran looking to get involved, this is a local group who is looking for you. So on Wednesday, September 7th, starting at 1800 and go to 1900 hours, is the RWB Wandering Wednesdays Walk, which takes place at Thompson's Park. And last but not least, it's the Thursday, September 8th. I say last but not least. I don't know why I say that. Starting at 1800 hours, going to 1900 hours, is the Disabled American Veterans Monthly Membership Meeting. And that takes place over at Cochise College at the nursing school down there on Wilcox. So if you're going to be attending that meeting, you want to walk in that door that faces El Camino Real, and the DAV building or the DAV office is right there as you walk in. And I also want to encourage any veteran who, if you haven't filed a claim for disability and you've been putting it off, don't put it off. Get in there and get your claim filed. These are benefits that you earned while serving our country. They're benefits that you're due. So don't mess around. Get in there. Go see the DAV. If you don't want to go see the DAV, go to the cemetery or go to the American Legion has a service officer. But you really need to get your claim filed, because the longer you delay, the longer it takes. Now, I can tell you right now, as a service officer for DAV Fry Chapter 14 here, we do have a very quick process. You come in, we fill out the forms online, boom, set it up on an email, and they get it like that. And it's so much quicker. And like I said, you don't have to do the snail mail anymore.
No, I was just going to comment on that. I have disability for various reasons. But getting somebody from the state or the DAV as your representative, you will find that they work very hard for you. They almost take a truly personal interest in your case, that they want you to get everything to which you're entitled, and they just want to do the best job for you. So a lot of people are intimidated that they have to go down and fill out papers, but the truth is, once you go see one of these representatives, whether it's DAV or the state, and they're at the cemetery, they kind of take it over. Now they coordinate with you, and you make all the decisions, of course, but they take it over, and they handle everything for you, and they do a great job.
And like I said, the process is so easy. You come in, you have to bring your DD Form 214. That's one thing that you need.
That's why you got it.
And marriage certificate, maybe, depending on. But you bring that in, you sit down, you fill out the forms. Like I said, everything. What we do at the DAV is that we scan everything after the veteran signs it. Then we scan it, put it in an email, and then we send it off to DAV, and they get it like that.
Yeah, and as I said, a lot of criticism of the VA over the years, but they're actually improving their service.
They're trying.
I think they're doing the best they can, and I've never really had a bad experience with the VA. No, that's me.
And like Sarah said, it can become harder the longer you wait, so just do it.
Well, it's difficult to prove things the longer you wait.
Yep.
So, the service connection, but
that's the hardest thing to prove, is a service connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's what your counselor does for you. They are familiar with the ways to do those types of things.
And it doesn't cost anything. It's other than your time. I mean, the people at the DAV, at the American Legion, they're volunteers. I think the guys at the cemetery, or guys and
I think
gals,
they get paid. They're paid by the state.
Paid, yeah.
But as I said, my guy over there is, he's just great. He's just great, and everything. And like I said, like you said, get the application.
Yeah. He might get paid by the state, or she might get paid by the state, but you still don't pay them, right?
No. The service is absolutely free.
Yep.
Oh no, it's a wonderful service. And as I said, they take good care of you. They take an interest in you.
All right, Tommy.
Okay.
Well, that's it for the day.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
It was have a great way, everybody, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.